Hey everybody, it's Andres here coming to you from Grand Rapids, Michigan, from the Baking Steel team, and today we are smashing burgers. Going to be epic. Got my mise en place here, very simple, a little bit of cheese too. I have my Baking Steel Mini sitting on my stovetop. I put it on here, well, it's always on my stovetop. This is an electric stovetop, in case anyone's asking, glass, and my Mini works beautifully on top. I have been preheating it for like 10 minutes. Doesn't take a long time because we're really for smash burgers or anything else on the griddles, we're just trying to get that surface temperature. And I like to use my infrared gun. And it's currently about 425 degrees, 430 degrees, which is kind of nice. I'm going to try to do this without using the fan because it'll drown out the sound from me and from the sizzle, if you will. So smash burgers today. The setup, you've got my setup. You can use an original baking steel. Any of our steels will work. Happens to be electric, but it works on gas. You can do these outside on your grill. Just move your baking steel out there. Today, I'm using my Baking Steel Mini. It's already here. And then I've got, for my tools, let's see. This is gonna be my smasher today. I'm just using an old spatula, okay? Pancake flipper. I'm using an infrared gun because I want my temperature to be hot. And this really dials it in, obviously. If I don't have one of these, fine. I can splash some water. So right now my griddle's about 400 degrees. It really bubbles up and those things travel, the bubbles, the balls travel really fast. And that's how I know it's getting there. If I'm making pancakes or where it's a little bit more sensitive and I don't want to burn, like say my pancakes, I will melt my butter, right? And if it turns brown really fast, that's going to be too hot. But for smash burgers, we do want to be burning the butter, right? We want to get these things upwards of 450 degrees. We're going to cook these super fast. And that's really the tools that we're using here. Let me see if I'm leaving anything out. That's it. And then for my prep, right? I'm using ground beef. I know some of the smash burger enthusiasts, we're gonna like a 75-25. Today I'm using like an 83 lean to fat ratio. You want to have some fat in there, right? For your burger, it's gonna taste better than just pure beef, if you will. And then that's it. We basically turned our stovetop into a griddle. I've got like a diner here now. If I had more burgers, I could smash and feed a dozen people in no time, right? I would obviously need more mise en place, more ingredients, but for today's factor, I'm making, one or two burgers. I think 2 patties per smash is ideal. These are literally softly rounded, right? I don't press them super hard. Not seasoned yet. I might add a little bit of sea salt when I go down to the griddle. But these are about 2.5 ounces. You could use 3 ounces. Some people, use all different sizes, but 2.5 to 3 ounces seems to be make a nice burger. My buns, it'll fit the bun pretty nicely. These are brioche buns, little soft sesame on top. And that's it. We're about to do some smash. And so what I'm going to do is bring you guys over to my stovetop. I'm gonna do this backwards here. And so you guys can follow along exactly what I'm doing. Like this necklace, isn't that pretty? Mr. T. Can you guys still hear me okay? And what we'll do is we'll get to questions after I smash. So now, take my camera. You guys can see exactly what I'm doing. All right, here we go. Here's my setup here. So this is my flat top, right? I've got my mini griddle here. I'm gonna give it a little zap with my gun. I'm at about 450 degrees, so that's hot, really hot. First things first, I'm gonna brown some butter. So I'm just gonna really quick. So I'm gonna do my buns first, and little bun, right? This just takes us a quick sear. I'm just gonna crisp this up just enough, and then we're gonna go to smash. Because my mini griddle is so hot, see how it's toasting up pretty quick. I like to do my buns ahead of time Normally I would have like all of these set up done. Just a little press. We got it nice and toasted, right? So there's my bun. Now for my smash, you can use parchment paper. You could use a smasher. I'm gonna clean up my grill, the butter off here quick. I'm using my back of my spatula here. If I'm using parchment, I would just smash it down with the parchment. That will help it non-stick. But for these, I'm gonna use a little bit of olive oil. And that's it, okay? And now I just place my burger patties down, right? And because I've got olive oil down here, I can just smash this. I'm gonna do a little bit. And I could get them really thin if I'd like, right? And then boom. That looks nice, right? Not too smoky yet. And I want to cook this almost all the way, right? And I can go even a little thinner. You see how thin this is? They're pretty thin, right? And that's about 1 minute in time. That's all it takes. Now, before I do any kind of flipping, I want to just be sure that these are not going to stick. So I take a bench scraper and I just lightly scrape underneath it. So when I go to flip it, it's going to just be one quick motion. That my burger will not fall apart. So scrape first. I'm assured these things are loose. This has been almost a minute. Now what I'll do is I'll take my boom, flip it. Now is a good time. Add some cheese. And now I'll take my bun, pick her up, boom. My cheese is almost melted. This is a provolone. Use whatever your favorite cheese is. Double patty, right? You can kind of see the skin on that burger. I like to use a little bit of onion on top. Boom, boom. And then grab my top bun. And there is our smash. Super, super. It's going to taste incredible, right? Super easy, super simple. I've got a nice little crust on my burger. If I want to use pickles and ketchup, I can. Otherwise, just go to town. Mm, incredible. So good. Let me pause and get some questions for you guys. That was great. Anybody have any questions? Yes, Deb, super fast. The idea is to get your griddle hot. You can see it's smoked up quite a bit, but not too crazy. I didn't even use my fan. My alarm didn't go off, which is nice. About 1 minute. I tried to cook almost the entire burger on one side. You flip it, add your cheese, remove, boom. The nice thing about these is we just make our burgers so we can have our burger bar set up for everybody. That's my ideal setup would be toast all your buns and then start smashing your burgers and just put your burgers and your buns together, put them out there on a sheet tray. Meantime, you've got pickles, you've got your condiments, your ketchup, your mustard, your mayonnaise, onions, caramelized onions, whatever you can think of for your toppings. You can even use jalapeno peppers, some avocado, some bacon. Have your burger bar set up. Do all your prep work ahead of time. So when your guests arrive, you're just smashing, right? Smashing and serving. And it is the dream setup for everyone, believe me. Smash burgers are amazing. Tastes so good. Create a little bit of skin. With the sear of the baking steel being super hot, we're searing it, creating that Maillard effect on the skin of the burger, gives it a little bit of a crisp. It's outstanding. No, great question. I use metal all the time. You are not going to damage your steel. You might scratch it, you might blemish it. You know, our griddles, all of our steels are very, it's funny, it's really, it's challenging for us as manufacturers. Steel is indestructible. You cannot break it. Um, if you do season it, new steel, we put a very, very thin layer of like flax oil on it. That thin layer makes the steels very susceptible to surface scratches and blemishes. That's it, but it's not damaged. It's just the oil that's kind of scraped, so it looks ominous. It's not. So I am not afraid to use any type of metal. I won't use a knife because I'll ruin the knife, but any kind of metal on my griddle itself is fine. I'm not going to hurt the seasoning at all. In fact, as you can see, I just cooked on my steel. I don't even ever season my baking steel griddles because they're always on my stovetop and I'm always using them. And it's got such a beautiful patina. You can see, right? It's gorgeous. The only thing I recommend are these cleaning bricks for your baking steel or your griddles. These lightly scour that surface and keep it super smooth. This is made out of recycled glass. It's awesome. It just helps keep my steels beautiful. And I don't worry about the seasoning at all. I always have a trowel around, fan of my smoke alarm, which always goes off. I need a stronger. Yeah, Paul, this is a baby hood too. It'll get rid of the smoke a little bit. It's not as crazy as the pizza smoke I can create with the cheese. The burgers, it's a little bit smoky, but it's fine. Let's see. On my induction range, I'd like to put a griddle over a large burner or right rather than the two on the left. Should that work? Oh, I got you here, Vicky. Grill over the large burner on right rather than the two on the left. Yeah, that'll work. Especially if you're using the mini. I can't pick this up, it's too hot. But my mini it's 12 by 12. I think it's like it fits beautifully over one burner. I think this is the largest burner on the stovetop, which really, the trick is I blast my heat on high and for like 5 minutes and then I drop it down. So once I blast it, that heat's kind of spreading out through every corner of that steel. And then I drop it down because the beauty of steel is once it gets hot, it stays hot. That makes sense. What brand vent do you have above your cooktop? Elaine, that's a great question. You know what? I do not know. The person that installed it ordered it on the Amazon. It wasn't very expensive. It was like a few $100s. We've kind of made a box to around it just to help cosmetically, make it look a little better. But I don't know what brand it is. Amazon has them though. Anybody else have a question I can help with? Please drop them in the message box here. I love it. You guys are amazing. So Smashburgers, you can see that, huh? That gorgeous. Now here's a question for you. I did Smashburger, eating it naked, meaning no ketchup, no mustard, no condiments, just onion, beef, and cheese, and of course the bun. Anybody else doing that lately? No condiments, or what is your condiment of choice, I should say? Do you ever grill pizza dough on the griddle? Like on my stovetop inside, like a naan? I have, yes. I have quite a bit, like naan. And I've actually done it with pizza dough as well. Yes. Ah, nice. Someone else, meat in the bun only. I like that. Nice call. Just because, John, you're lazy, right? I love it. Lettuce, tomato. Yeah, that's a good one too. Lettuce, tomato, cheese, bun, nothing. That's a good combo. Yeah, I'm kind of like getting away from the condiments for whatever reason. Maybe it's as I'm getting older and more mature. Francine's asking, I saw your video on chicken cutlets on the griddle. Do they burn easily? Great question. And no, they don't burn, actually. Again, depending on the temperature that you're cooking at, but I find when I'm using the griddle, the IR gun, this is the greatest trick right here, right? This just tells you the exact temperature. So if it gets too hot, the for high 400s and the 500s, then I'd probably want to dial that temperature down. But lower than that, I'm fine. I will not burn. Same thing with, I might use a higher heat olive oil, or so that would be like maybe even like a canola oil or something to cook. I don't like to use canola oil. Avocado oil seems to be ideal for like chicken cutlets. It's got a high smoke point. It doesn't tend to burn too quick. Clarified butter also works. Ghee. Um, yeah, and John, that's a great idea. I used raw onions here. Grill them first, add a little bit of flavor to them. Top your burger with those. Caramelized onions, another great idea. Even smashed avocado. The sky's the limit, right? Really fun party to have as a Smashburger party. Anybody else have a question? Amazing, you guys. Super fast class today. Super good. Try your smash burgers. Hashtag Baking Steel. Post it on Instagram. We love to share these guys. Amazing. If there are no more questions, yeah, Vicky, go get. I'm glad you're inspiring me too by being here today. But it's really good, guys. Again, get it really hot, smash it down, scrape it, remove it, put it on your bun, get your toppings ready, and go to town. Thank you guys for being here. Amazing. All right, we'll see you guys. Next week, we're doing pan pizza. It's going to be incredible. Thanks, guys. Oh, here you go. I know you have to worry about the juices falling off, but can you use the regular bait? Yeah, 100%, Joe. I should have done it today for class's sake, but it was too hot when I thought of it. Yes, yeah, and just be, like you said, be mindful of any of the fats rolling off the sides. But for the big surface of the baking steel, you got plenty of room there to smash burgers. Put it over one burner, so most of the heat is going to be in the center of your steel anyway. It's kind of nice, using our griddles, using the baking steel on top. You've got like zone cooking now. One burner is going to be on, one burner is going to be off. So you put your buns and things on the cooler side. It's still hot, but you're not cooking them, right? Just holding it. So you get a different zone. It's how we do it in restaurants. You have zone cooking. You can do that at home. We get the diner. I like the bourbon idea, Scott. That's great. Awesome. All right, you guys, smash them up. Thank you. And we'll see you on the other side.